In the middle of the alien marketplace, noise filled the air. Traders shouted, people bargained, and strange creatures moved in every direction. In the center of it all, one alien trader stood on a high platform. He was big, rough, and had sharp tusks on both sides of his mouth. He grabbed the chain tied to a girl and yanked it hard. Out stumbled an alien girl, thin, weak, and shaking. Her clothes were torn and dirty. Her hands were bruised. Her head stayed low, her eyes staring at the ground like she didn't even exist. She's broken. The trader shouted to the crowd. She's no good, can't fight, can't cook, can't even speak. He raised a bottle of glowing blue liquor and laughed. Give me just one bottle of liquor, and she's yours. People in the market laughed. Some threw rocks. She's not even worth that. One alien yelled, she'd die in a day. Another shouted, but the girl didn't cry. She didn't move. She stood there, frozen, as if her soul had already left her body. In that loud and heartless crowd, one man didn't laugh. A human. His name was Marcus. He wore a long coat, dusty boots, and had kind eyes that didn't match the rough world around him. Marcus watched the girl carefully. He didn't see a slave. He didn't see weakness. He saw something different. He saw survival. He stepped forward, quiet, calm. The trader looked at him and grinned. You want this one, human? She bring you nothing but trouble. Marcus said nothing. He walked up to the girl. She didn't look at him. He knelt down slowly and gently lifted her chin. For the first time their eyes met. She had deep black eyes. But inside them, there was a spark, not of strength, but of something stronger, endurance. She had been through pain, loss, maybe even torture, but she was still standing. Marcus stood and looked the trader in the eye. I'll take her, he said. The trader laughed. You're a fool. She's cursed. The last guy who took her died the same night. Marcus didn't answer. He took out a bottle of liquor from his bag and handed it over. The trader smiled wide and cut the chain. She's yours, human. Good luck staying alive. Marcus stepped closer to the girl and whispered softly, come with me. You're safe now. The girl hesitated. She looked up again, this time with fear and confusion. No one had ever said those words to her before. She followed him slowly, walking like she had forgotten how to move on her own. The crowd stared, whispered, but no one stopped them. Back at his small ship outside the market, Marcus let her in. It was a simple ship, nothing fancy, but it was clean, warm, and safe. He gave her water. She took it with shaking hands. He offered food. She didn't eat much, but she kept looking at him as if waiting for him to hit her or chain her again. Marcus didn't say much. He let her sit, rest. Later that night, while he repaired his ship's control wires, he felt her eyes watching him. She sat in the corner, knees to her chest, silent, but alert. He asked gently, what's your name? No answer. He didn't press. He simply said, you don't need to speak. Not until you're ready. She lowered her head again, but her eyes blinked slower now. Like maybe for the first time in a long time, she was tired. But not terrified. But outside, in the deep shadows of the rocky hills near the landing pad, something was watching them. Two red eyes blinked. A signal was sent. Coordinates locked. A whisper went through the stars. The escaped one has been found. Inside the ship, Marcus closed the hatch and leaned back. The girl had fallen asleep, curled up on the bench like a small creature that had learned to survive in a cruel world. He didn't know her story. He didn't know her secrets. He didn't know that the trader's warning wasn't just a lie. She wasn't just a broken slave. She was someone much more dangerous and much more important. And the moment he gave her safety, the moment he touched her hand, he had already stepped into something far bigger than he imagined. Marcus sat in silence as the stars blinked outside his ship's window. The alien girl still hadn't said a word. She sat on the bench, curled up, half asleep, but not fully relaxed. Her body was still tense, like she expected pain to return at any moment. Marcus didn't force her to talk. He just checked the ship's systems, cooked some simple food, and occasionally glanced her way. When he placed a clean blanket near her feet, she didn't touch it at first. She stared at it like it was a trick. Later, when she thought he wasn't looking, she pulled it over her thin shoulders and quietly sighed. That small sound, it wasn't relief. It was confusion. No one had ever given her comfort without asking for something in return. The next day, Marcus landed the ship on a small asteroid station just for fuel and supplies. He told her, "Stay here. I won't be long." She nodded once but didn't speak. Her eyes, though, followed him carefully, as if memorizing his every step in case she needed to escape later. Marcus walked off into the market. Dome. 10 minutes passed. 15. 20. Suddenly, the girl stood. She walked across the cabin like she knew every inch of the ship, even though she had never been on one like this before. She crouched next to a wall panel, pressed something. It clicked. Marcus didn't even know that compartment existed. Inside was an old power box, but she reached behind it and pulled out a small metal case no bigger than her hand. She opened it and stared at what was inside, a tiny cube, glowing with faint green light. Lines moved across its surface like it was alive. She touched it gently and whispered in her own language, "Yaru, I still have it. Then, without warning, a loud thump hit the ship's outer hull. She snapped the box shut and ran to the window. Two figures in dark armor stood outside watching. Not part of the station's security. Bounty hunters. Her heart pounded. Just then, the door opened. Marcus stepped in with a small bag of supplies. Before he could speak, she ran to him and grabbed his coat. She didn't say anything, but her hands trembled as she pointed toward the window. Marcus looked. He saw the hunters. "Stay back," he said softly, walking to the controls. "Are they after you?" She nodded once. Marcus powered up the thrusters. The ship lifted off just as the hunters drew their weapons. Laser shots sparked off the hull. They didn't want to kill him. They wanted her alive. The ship flew away from the asteroid into empty space. Marcus locked the controls and turned to her. "I need to know," he said. "Why are they after you? What did you take?" She shook her head. "Are you a criminal?" She didn't answer. "Are you dangerous?" Still silent. Then he tried one last question. "Were you running from them before the slave trader got you?" Slowly, she nodded. Marcus sat down. His voice was low. "You don't need to tell me everything. Not now, but if we're going to survive." She suddenly reached up to the wall, pulled out a sharp marker from behind a pipe, and began to draw, not random shapes, a star map. Lines, arrows, circles, symbols, a path. She pointed to one glowing dot. "There," she said softly. Her voice was dry, shaky, but clear. Marcus leaned closer. "That's a Class 3 abandoned station. No one goes there." She looked him in the eyes and whispered, "They left something behind." "I need to go back." Marcus frowned. "You escaped from there?" She hesitated, then slowly nodded. But before he could say more, beep, an alarm rang from the scanner. Multiple ships. Incoming. Fast. No signals. No IDs. Marcus looked at her. She stared at the screen, her face pale. "They found me." Marcus rushed to the cockpit. "Strap in." The girl didn't sit. She opened the small metal box again and placed it into a slot beneath the wall panel. It fit perfectly. Suddenly, the ship's lights changed. The engines roared. "What did you do?" Marcus shouted. She replied, "I unlocked your ship's hidden mode." "You didn't know it had one?" Marcus blinked. "This is a cargo ship." "It doesn't have." The ship jumped to light speed. Far faster than any cargo ship should. He turned and looked at her. She was no ordinary slave, and she wasn't running anymore. She had a destination, a mission. And now Marcus was part of it. The ship moved through deep space like a ghost. Quiet. Fast. Hidden. Marcus stared at the girl, still trying to understand what just happened. She had turned his old cargo ship into something faster, stronger, without touching a single manual. He finally asked, "Who are you?" "Really?" She didn't answer. Instead, she sat near the glowing cube in the wall, the same device she had placed inside his ship's secret slot. Her hands moved carefully. She tapped it once. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The ship's main screen lit up with strange alien text. Marcus had never seen symbols like these before. "Is this your tech?" he asked. She replied quietly, "It's not mine. It was stolen, and I took it back." Marcus frowned. "So the hunters, they're not just slavers?" She looked him in the eye. "They're part of something worse. Something that kills anyone who knows the truth." Just then, ping. Ping. An alert echoed across the dashboard. Marcus rushed to check it. A bounty signal. Galactic-Y. His own ship ID was now flagged. Wanted. Marcus Raiden, human, for harboring fugitive. Class X asset. Reward. 70,000 credits. Alive. Warning. Subject may possess stolen planetary tech. His face went pale. "They just put a price on my head." The girl said nothing, but her face was calm. She had expected this. Marcus muttered, "You knew this would happen if I helped you." She looked away. "Yes. Then why didn't you run alone?" She turned back to him, her voice soft but steady. "Because I've been running for too long, and you didn't look at me like I was broken." Marcus gripped the side rail and sighed. His whole life had been simple before this. Cargo runs, small repairs, quiet nights with old music. Now he was a fugitive, and sitting next to him was a girl the galaxy wanted dead or captured. He finally asked, "Why are they hunting you? What's inside that cube?" She opened her hand. Inside was a small crystal disc, black on one side, glowing on the other. "This holds records of what happened to my planet, my people, and proof that Earth may be next." Marcus froze. "Next for what?" She replied coldly, "Extermination." Suddenly, an alarm blared. "Ship incoming." Marcus shouted. Out the window, a small hunter craft blinked into real space. Its cannons glowed red. "Brace yourself," Marcus yelled, gripping the controls. But before he could dodge, the girl stood. She raised her hand toward the glowing cube on the wall and tapped 3 points. The entire ship vibrated. A shield of blue light surrounded them just in time. The first shot bounced off. Marcus was shocked. "Where did you learn to do that?" She smiled faintly. "This ship has old tech. It remembers how to fight. I just reminded it." But the hunter ship wasn't alone. 2 more ships dropped in behind it. 3 against 1. Marcus slammed the thrusters and dove into a nearby asteroid field. Rocks the size of houses floated silently through space. Marcus weaved between them, barely avoiding a crash. The girl gripped the side rail. "This is where they'll try to trap us," she warned. "Then tell me how to stop them." Marcus yelled. She stepped forward, typed something into the control panel, and suddenly, the cargo ship's weapons came online. Not weak mining lasers. True battle-grade cannons. She whispered. "Fire on my mark." The hunter ships followed. "Closer, closer." "Now," she said. Marcus fired. Blue energy shot out and hit one of the hunter ships directly. It spun, caught fire, and exploded into dust. The second ship dodged. The third fired a shockwave that knocked their shields to 15%. Sparks flew. The dashboard beeped. Marcus gritted his teeth. He'd never fought like this. But he trusted her. She pointed to a small opening in the asteroid field. "Go there. It's narrow. They won't fit." Marcus flew straight in. The ship scraped the rock wall. Panels shook loose. The second hunter ship tried to follow and crashed headfirst into the stone. Only one ship left. Marcus aimed the cannon, waiting, but it disappeared. Gone. He looked at her. Did it retreat? She shook her head. No, it went silent. That means they're calling someone bigger. Marcus caught his breath. What now? She pointed to the star map again, to this location. An old science station. I think someone there still remembers the truth. Marcus looked out into the stars. You've made a lot of enemies. She looked at him. You just made them too. Marcus smiled slightly. Then we better make some friends fast. Outside, in the darkness, behind a moon, a massive ship 20 times larger watched them silently. Its captain spoke only one word. Track them. Asterisk, the ship floated silently through a quiet region of space. No stars nearby, no signals. Just endless dark. Marcus adjusted the controls, trying to stabilize the engine. It had taken damage in the last chase. Meanwhile, the girl still unnamed sat on the floor with the glowing cube beside her. She had not spoken in hours, but her eyes, they were focused. Marcus glanced at her. Are you always this quiet? She didn't smile. She didn't joke. Instead, she said something that made his skin crawl. They'll find us again. But next time, they won't come to catch me. They'll come to kill us both. Marcus looked at her sharply. Then tell me what you're hiding. Tell me what's in that device. She stared at the cube, and then slowly opened the small crystal panel on its side. The lights inside shifted. A low hum filled the ship, and then the control screen turned on by itself. A projection appeared, a hologram of a city. Burning, buildings crumbled, alien ships flew overhead. Screams echoed, followed by silence. This is my home, she said, voice shaking. Before it was erased, Marcus stepped closer. Who did this? She looked at him. The ones you call peacekeepers. The High Galactic Council. Marcus frowned. That's not possible. The Council is neutral. She slowly shook her head. No. They choose who gets peace, and who gets wiped out. She tapped the screen. It showed another planet Earth. Your planet. It's next. Marcus's heart stopped. Why? She answered, because they're afraid of you. Marcus sat down beside her. But Earth isn't a threat. We're barely part of the galactic system. She replied, that's what makes you dangerous. You fight when you're weak. You survive when you're outnumbered. And you see worth in people like me. Marcus stared at her, then asked softly, what exactly are you? She hesitated. Then she stood and walked to the ship's inner chamber. She placed her hand on the wall. The door unlocked automatically like the ship knew her. Marcus followed her inside. Inside that chamber was a floating device unlike anything he had seen, circular, covered in strange crystal shards. It spun slowly and gave off a low, steady pulse. Marcus whispered, what is that? She answered, it's called a core seed. It can restart a planet's energy, or destroy it completely. Marcus took a step back. And it's active? She nodded. It's damaged, but still alive. Marcus stared at the floating orb. You stole it? She looked him in the eye. No, I protected it. They were using it to wipe out species. My people built it as a source of hope. The council turned it into a weapon. Suddenly, boom, the ship shook. Red lights flashed. Marcus ran to the cockpit. 3 ships. Small fast trackers. They found us again. He yelled. She was already there, touching controls Marcus didn't know existed. I can't fight them with the seed on board, she said. It's too unstable. We need to hide it, Marcus asked. Where? She pointed to a planet just ahead, covered in ice, silent, empty, a frozen moon. I'll bury the seed there, then we fight. Marcus nodded. He pulled the ship downward, straight into the icy atmosphere. Lasers flew past them. Alarms screamed. They landed hard on the moon. The ice cracked under the ship's weight. Outside, the cold air was deadly. But she stepped out without fear, holding the core seed in her arms. Like it was a child, she found a deep crevice and placed the orb inside. Then she looked up at the stars. They'll come, but they won't find it. She returned to the ship, breath fogging in the air. Marcus armed the ship's weapons. This time, he said, we fight back. She nodded. But then she said something that chilled his blood. They won't stop until I'm dead. And if I die, you must take the seed to Earth. Marcus looked at her, and for the first time, he truly understood. She wasn't a slave. She wasn't weak. She was a keeper of worlds. A survivor of genocide. And now, Earth's last warning. Outside. The stars shifted. A new ship entered orbit. This one wasn't a hunter. It was something far worse. Council colors. Ice cracked beneath the landing gear. The frozen moon was silent. But Marcus knew that silence wouldn't last long. He stood at the ship's doorway, scanning the sky. The girl stood beside him, her long cloak catching the wind. Her eyes were locked on the stars above. They're here, she whispered. Marcus didn't need to ask who. He followed her gaze. A massive council ship slowly emerged from behind the planet's curve. Sleek, silent, deadly. Not a hunter this time. An executioner. Marcus rushed inside. Get the ship ready to launch. She didn't move. Instead, she walked calmly to the hidden compartment where they had buried the core seed. She placed her hand on the icy ground, whispered something. Her language, the ice began to reform, covering the seed completely, hiding its warmth beneath layers of crystal frost. Marcus called again, louder this time. We don't have time. She turned to him. I've hidden what matters. Now we survive. The council ship sent down 3 dropships. They hit the ground hard, throwing up waves of snow and smoke. Marcus powered the engines. The girl climbed aboard just as the council soldiers started marching across the ice. This is not a normal squad, Marcus muttered. Looking at the radar. They won't talk, she said. They're here to erase witnesses. Marcus didn't waste time. The ship roared off the surface. Snow and frost exploded around them. The girl tapped into the shield system. The blue glow wrapped around the ship again, but this time it flickered. Marcus noticed. Shields unstable. We took too many hits last time. They'll shoot to disable, not kill, she warned. They want us back alive to control the message. Marcus grinned tightly. Then they'll hate what happens next. In open space, the council cruiser locked on. Its weapons powered up. Marcus pushed the ship into full thrust. Stars turned into streaks. 1, 2, 3 shots fired. The first missed. The second clipped their wing. The third boomed. Lights flickered. Sparks flew. Their navigation system went dark. We lost our star map. Marcus shouted. I still remember the route, the girl said calmly. He stared at her. You memorized hyperspace coordinates? I had to. I escaped without tools, only memory. She tapped on the manual nav input. Her fingers danced over the screen. Marcus raised an eyebrow. You never told me how old you are, she replied. Old enough to survive 2 wars. And young enough to keep running. Suddenly, a second council ship blinked into real space ahead of them. Ambush. Marcus pulled hard to the left. Asteroids appeared on the sensors. Jagged, dangerous. We can lose them in the field, he said. They'll think we're reckless, she warned. He smiled. We are. The ship entered the asteroid field. Rocks the size of buildings floated in silence. One wrong move, and they'd be space dust. Behind them, the council ship split apart. One chased left, the other right. Marcus dodged a spinning boulder, then ducked under a ring of frozen debris. The girl monitored the rear scanner. They're getting closer. Marcus narrowed his eyes. Then let's give them a surprise. He flew the ship straight into a dark cavern inside a giant asteroid. Inside, the walls glowed with soft blue minerals. The ship slowed to a crawl. The girl asked, Why here? He pointed upward. There, That crack in the stone it leads to. A fuel vent. If we blast it while they're inside ... they won't escape. Marcus armed a small bomb as the first council ship entered the cavern. Marcus hit the engines. They shot upward, through the crack. Then he triggered the blast. Boom! A wave of fire swallowed the tunnel. The first enemy ship vanished into smoke. The second ship backed off. Marcus didn't wait. He pushed into hyperspace, no map. Just raw speed. The girl stared at the shrinking stars outside the window. You didn't ask where I'm taking you, Marcus said. She replied, I trust you. He turned slowly. Why? You don't even know me. She looked at him for a long second. You could have left me in chains. But you didn't. That's enough for now. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Marcus asked, where to next? She drew a circle on the dusty dashboard. A place called Relentless grave, a space station built into a dead star. No one goes there. But I have friends who still remember what the council did, and they'll help us? They'll help me, she said. They'll have to learn to trust. Marcus smiled slightly, one problem at a time. Far behind them, the surviving council ship sent out a new signal, encrypted, cold, subject not terminated. Asset recovered and hidden. Activate Phase 2. *A. Swirling blue tunnel of hyperspace faded into cold black. Marcus's ship dropped out, shaking slightly before stabilizing in the orbit of something enormous. An ancient dot. It didn't look like a space station. It looked like a tomb, Relentless grave, a forgotten outpost built into the heart of a dead star's remains. Long, spiked towers jutted from its hull like frozen bones. The glow of emergency lights flickered like ghosts across its surface. This place looks like it's falling apart, Marcus said, squinting at the broken docking ring. It is, the girl replied. But the people inside are not. They docked quietly, no guards. No scan. Marcus stepped out first, ready for a fight. Instead, he found silence. Dark metal halls stretched ahead. The air was dry. Flickering lights revealed shadows and movement. But no faces. Then they heard footsteps. An alien woman stepped forward, tall, armored, with pale red skin and a scar down her cheek. The girl stepped out from behind Marcus. The woman's eyes widened. Zura, she whispered. Zura. That was her name. The girl Zura nodded. It's me. The woman hugged her without warning. We thought you were dead. Marcus watched, unsure what to say. More people stepped forward from the shadows, aliens. Of many kinds, some wounded, some armed. All looking at Zura like she was a legend. Come, the woman said. The council will want to see you. Zura glanced back at Marcus. You should come too. They need to hear what you've done. They were led to a deep chamber lit with dull green light. A round table. 5 figures sat around it, some human, some alien. Zura placed the glowing cube on the table. This is the last record of my people's destruction, she said. And the proof that Earth is next. The council members leaned in. The device hummed. Images filled the room, flashes of burning cities. Council warships, lists of erased star systems, and Earth marked in red. The room went silent. Marcus whispered, why would they want to erase us? One of the council members, a human in a long coat, spoke slowly. Because Earth isn't obedient, it's unpredictable. And fear is easier to manage than freedom. Zura looked at the council. I need your help to warn Earth, to stop the council. The woman who had greeted her earlier nodded. We'll help. We owe you. But the man in the coat just stared. Too long. Too quiet. Marcus noticed. What is it? He asked. The man smiled slowly. You're brave, he said, and foolish. Before anyone could react, 2 armed guards stormed in. Zura reached for the cube. Too late. The guards grabbed her. One struck Marcus in the gut, forcing him down. The human councilman stood. You brought the enemy to us, Zura. You should have stayed dead, Zura struggled. You lied. You said you wanted truth. The man's smile turned cold. I want control. And now I have the truth locked in a box. And you, my dear, are the key. Marcus groaned, clutching his ribs. You're with the council. The man stepped over him. No, the council is done. They're dinosaurs. I work with the new force rising stronger, cleaner, and built on silence. He took the glowing cube from the table. Zura screamed. You can't control it. He replied, No, but I can sell it. Suddenly, the lights went out. A loud bang echoed through the chamber. Smoke filled the room. Alarms blared. Someone had attacked the station. In the chaos, Zura elbowed one of the guards and grabbed Marcus by the arm. This way. She yelled. They ran through the dark halls, chased by shouts and gunfire. You had allies here, Marcus panted. Some, Zura replied, but not enough. They reached the lower deck, an old service tunnel. Zura pulled a panel from the wall and revealed a hidden ship, small, fast, made for escape. We have to get to Earth, she said. If he sells that cube, it's over. Marcus helped her into the cockpit. The door slammed shut just as bullets hit the side of the hangar. He looked back. The woman who had greeted them, the one with the scar, stood in the shadows, gun raised. She nodded once, then turned and started shooting at the guards to buy them time. Zura whispered, She still believes. The escape ship roared out of the hangar. As they flew away, the station behind them shook with fire. The betrayal had cost them everything except each other. Zura looked down at her hands. He has the cube, she said softly, but not the seed. Marcus turned toward her. The core seed? She nodded. We still have one chance, and behind them, the traitor councilman placed the cube inside a silver case. He smiled to himself and sent a signal out into the dark. Package secured, ready for delivery. Earth won't know what hit it. The stars outside their window blurred. Zura and Marcus sat in silence as the small ship glided through hyperspace. She stared out, lost in thought. Her voice was calm, but her hands trembled slightly. He has the cube, she said again. And Earth doesn't know what's coming. Marcus looked over. But we still have the core seed, right? Zura nodded. Yes. But we can't just drop it on Earth and hope. We need to show them what it means, what I mean. Marcus leaned back, sighing. Earth doesn't even trust aliens yet. They still argue over if you people are real. Zura turned her eyes to him. I'm not asking them to trust me. I'm asking them to survive. The ship dropped out of hyperspace near a hidden orbital ring just outside Earth's communication zone. Zura input a code. A hidden station opened its gates. Old tech, pre-war design. Inside, a small group of humans waited, rebels, hackers, and watchers of the stars. Marcus stepped off the ship first. Name's Marcus Raiden. This is Zura. We need your help. One of the humans stepped forward. Older, gray beard. Worn jacket. I know who she is, he said. The council put a bounty on her so high it scared bounty hunters away. Come in. Inside, Zura revealed the core seed. Everyone in the room stopped talking. It glowed brighter in their presence, pulsing like a heartbeat. What is it? Someone asked. Zura stepped forward. This is what the council used to end my people. It stores more than energy. It holds memory, proof. She placed her hand on the device. Suddenly, holograms filled the station. Earth's name, circled in red. Alien ships, building. Human leaders, being misled. And the traitor, the councilman from Relen's grave, was shown making deals with Earth's corrupted agencies. Gasps echoed in the room. This is real? Someone whispered. Zura nodded. And then she said, with full voice, for the first time in the story, I was never just a slave. I was a witness, a warning, and now I'm a weapon. Suddenly alarms blared, ship incoming. One of the humans yelled, on the main screen, the traitor's personal vessel. Fast, armed, he was here, Zura's voice sharpened. He wants to destroy the seed before the truth spreads. Marcus gripped the controls. We need to show Earth before he gets to us. But the traitor had already begun jamming signals. No broadcasts getting through. A tech shouted .zura. Looked at the core seed. There's another way, she whispered. But I'll need to interface directly. Marcus stepped toward her. You don't have to do this alone. She looked at him. Eyes soft, but I was always alone, until you. Then, she stepped into the seed's energy field, lights wrapped around her. The air shifted, and suddenly, every human station, every satellite, every ship near Earth received a message. Zura's voice. This is not a threat. This is not a war cry. This is a plea from someone your kind saved, when no one else would. They call me a slave, a fugitive, but I carry truth. And that truth is, Earth is stronger than they think. Because it still sees value, in the broken, in the silent, in the forgotten, like me. Across Earth, people watched in awe. In streets, homes, bases, the message was short. But it hit hard. The traitor's ship fired a beam toward the station. Marcus screamed, Zura. She turned to him. Smiling, I lit the fire. Now let Earth burn back. The beam hit. The core seed exploded in a wave of pure energy, not destruction broadcast. Zura's message, her memory. Her warning spread like wildfire across the galaxy. The traitor's systems fried. His ship spun. Powerless. Marcus ran through the smoke-filled halls, shouting her name. He found only light. And silence. She was gone. But Earth was awake. Council ships were pulled back. All eyes stepped forward. Protests, outrage, unity. And through it all, people asked the same question. Who was she? And Marcus? He answered every time. She was never just a slave. She was a spark. And now, the galaxy will never forget her name.